Welcome to the second hour of MindShifters Radio. Today is Monday, July 21st, 2021. Let me flip the camera on. Hello, Miss Susan. Say hi.
Hello, Jeanie. Hello, Lincoln. You cute little boy.
Say hello. Hi.
Hi, I should put on my video, but I'm kind of a wreck. So here we go.
Hi, that's Susan.
Hi.
So we have
Aria.
them. Aria's mom just got off work a minute ago, and she's going to come get her, and they're going to get their nails done.
Wow.
And so then we'll have Mr. Lincoln for the rest of the afternoon.
Okay. How great is that?
How are you doing?
Doing okay. Thanks.
Good. Good. And Kathy's coming in. This is Kathy Klein, and she her phone system, she can call in, but she doesn't have video and she can't talk. So we just welcome her anyway.
Oh.
So she's been doing this work for some time now.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Are there ways people can be on this call without a number visible at all, or will it always show up?
You mean show up that they're on it?
Yeah.
If they're on live, they'll show up. Sometimes it'll come in just as their phone number, or if they have their name. I'm not sure. They can dial in and not even use the Zoom app, but I think they still show up.
It still shows up. Yeah,
I believe so. Of course, when I put it up on YouTube, I put just a picture of, like, if it's Dr. Tim's hour, it's just a picture of Dr. Tim, and if it's our hour, then it's a picture of Michael and I. So they don't see the names of who was on the show, and don't see pictures. So so everybody's private that way.
I know. I listen better when I don't think I have to perform visually at all. If I just think, it's different for you, I'm sure, because you're running it. When we run our group, I'm on the screen, with everybody else, and sort of on red alert, top effort. So
welcome.
Yay.
Thank you, dear heart, and welcome, Susan. Kathy, how are you?
I'm unmuted. I am well. Thank you, Michael. How are you?
Awesome. I'm rocking. That was a great healing crisis you shepherded me through last Thursday. Friday we had a conference, so we were not able to be on the show Friday, but Jeanie breathed me Friday morning. I went through some major healing symptoms. It was powerful and sweet, and out the other side. So
great.
All things rock and roll.
Excellent.
How about you? What's exciting in your world?
Well, my daughter's youngest boy just finished. Oh no, he's in the tail end of being at Ohio Opera. He got a scholarship to go there. He's such a wonderful singer. He was in 5 operas and musicals in the last weekend, and my daughter went there with her husband to watch.
Wow.
And Luke, the oldest boy, has been given a raise, and he has also been invited by a very well-known band where he is to play as a sub for their guitarist, who's going to be out for 2 weeks. And so he's going to be, this is his moment, I think, when they'll discover him, because he is fabulously good on the guitar. So he's doing very well, and we're pulling hard for Jacob, who is now June, has changed his name to June, and is posting all kinds of insulting TikTok or Instagram posts about how evil his mother is. Imagine having a kid who's doing that to you.
Bless his heart, bless her heart.
Yeah, she says she's doing all right with it. She knows he's terribly hurt, but it may keep her from being invited to be a bishop in the Episcopal Church, and she doesn't care about that so much. She said, I feel as if I do what I'm called to do, what I'm supposed to do, and maybe that's one thing I'm not supposed to do, but she's been called to run many times and ran once and was a close runner-up in Connecticut for the Bishop of Connecticut, the Diocese of Connecticut. That was a couple of years ago now. But she says anybody who will look at her profile will see that she's in bad trouble with one of her kids. And what's that all about? So we have him very much on our minds. Life is
I hear
really
you,
good.
and
Yeah.
I hear you in holding the space for both of them. It's got to be difficult. But no matter how much work you've done, how much healing you've done, that's still got to be difficult to have a child doing that.
Yes, it's really hard. So I'm going to disappear off the video and,
All right.
and listen.
Great. Glad you're here.
All right. Thanks. You too.
All right. Blessings.
Okay.
And I see Sean's with us, and I wonder if Sean's got anything on his mind today. How are you, sir? And he may be in the office and just listening on the side. I don't know. We'll see if his mute button goes off. And if it doesn't, then I have a topic I'm going to address. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask your help today, and also when the video is completed, this to pass it around, because what we've done is we're just getting involved in understanding how to set it up. A community website, it'll be kind of like a combination between a private Facebook page, although it's got nothing to do with Facebook. So it will be our own community page along with courses where we can post our courses and make them available to people. And this is something that will be permanent on the internet. So, we've been looking for a home that we can be assured is eternal, so that this work is available globally. And this is actually with a company that I spoke a couple of years ago that I had bought an AI program for, that we're able to take all of our work and put it into this program, train it, and then people will be able to query literally everything we've done from day one till now. They'll be able to make a query and come up with everything on any given topic that we might cover. So I'm pretty excited about that. And what we're working on is creating a name for the community. And I'm asking for the community support on your ideas. Unless someone has something they'd like to bring up, if there's an issue on the table, I'd certainly be happy if somebody push their mute button and we had a conversation. But otherwise, I'll step into. I've actually been doing a little bit of work with AI. It's pretty cool to be querying AI and asking it questions. And so I've been asking it for suggestions. I've been creating community names and then asking it for suggestions. And I'd like to share a few. And then I'd love your feedback. If you have any thoughts, any ideas of what to put into the name of a community, something that is SEO, search engine optimized. In other words, something that's a common thing that people search for, so they'll be able to find us. And the objective will be to have a community name that is descriptive enough and search friendly enough that people will be able to find the community. And so one of them that I'm leaning toward at this point is the Ancient Aramaic Wisdom Meets Quantum Physics Community. Some others: Quantum Aramaic Synthesis, the Quantum Path of Aramaic Wisdom and Forgiveness, Bridging Ancient Light, Quantum Insight Community, Consciousness Unveiled, Ancient Roots, Quantum Horizons. So these are some of the ideas I'm thinking about, and I would just love feedback. I'd love your input. Anyone who has a thought, if you hit your mute button, on what might be a good name for this community where our work will be housed. The Quantum Seekers Collective, Beyond Dimensions, a Wisdom Collective, the Unified Field of Wisdom, wisdom's nexus, ancient paths, quantum realities. The Aramaic Quantum Collective, Quantum Wisdom Circle. Some of what I've come up with so far are in sourcing some names and then asking AI for suggestions. And now I'm asking you for suggestions. If any of that clicks, makes sense, oh no, that one won't work, I would love your thoughts. And to give me your thoughts, all you do is go for it.
I think it should include Aramaic
Yes.
more so than quantum.
Yeah, I'm thinking because we're doing the quantum still point process that perhaps the word quantum along with Aramaic, so Aramaic. And one of the things I realized when you said that is that we haven't put the word breathing in it, and that needs to be part of it as well. The deep path community. Go ahead, Susan.
I was just going to say, two words seem to sit undigestible in my system. One is quantum, and one is energetic. Energetic appeared among New Agers in the last, 15 years, 20 years. People were using the word energetic. And I remember asking a friend of mine who used it a lot and as a therapist, what does that mean? And she looked at me and she said, oh, I don't know. So I don't know whether it's just me with my brain cells unable to, I would love to hear a translation of both of those, not necessarily now. In fact, maybe I might go on and ask AI what those mean, or just Google what the words mean. But if I saw those words, I would just have to research them before I knew what you were talking about. And I might be the only one who's having this experience. Okay, I'm going to mute again.
Right. Well, I'm sure you're not the only one having that experience. That's why I'm asking, because it's, I'm looking for to fish in everyone's experience for what is something that will open the space for at least people being interested in finding out what's going on. And for me, that word energy, my background's in electronics with a side study in physics, so that one's pretty straightforward for me, that underlying the universe, underlying everything is, one thing, and that's energy. A good substitute word for energy, if you look at the concept behind the word, another good substitute is God. You look at the physics world and the world of science, and it tells us that energy is omnipresent, makes up all things, therefore has all the power. Pretty much the same descriptors as people have for God. But that the distinguishing between what people think of as a concrete physical world, like looking out there and seeing an object and recognizing that, well, there's the object that we see, my offering would be the object that we see is kind of like the dashboard on your computer. If you're going to write a piece of email, you don't have to go into the computer and find a way to create a series of zeros and spaces and zeros and formulate a letter, the letter H for the beginning of hello. It would take 10,000 years to write a letter if you had to do that. But you have this symbol on your screen. There's a symbol on the screen when you type the letter H, and it comes up and it looks like an H, but there's no H in the computer. The H is a symbol for something. And in the computer world, it's a symbol for a massive amount of data. When we look at the understanding that comes with science is that when we look at an object, it's really a symbol and that beneath it is energy. That what makes it up, the substance of the universe, is energy, or is God. And when we start to interact and understand on that level, then we become more capable. My offering would be more capable of creating our conscious realities. Does that make any sense for you and what you're looking for with that word energy?
Say that last thing, the last clause, something before people's realities.
Yeah, the H on the screen, when I type the letter H on my computer, the H that shows up on my screen is a
Yeah.
symbol for a massive operation going on underneath the surface
Right, I understand that.
that our
Yeah.
brains couldn't do. And
Right.
so in the same way, when I look at a picture on the wall, I look at what I call a body. I'm looking at a symbol,
Yeah,
and it is nothing but a symbol for a massive something happening underneath.
I see.
If we never, and what the symbol is a symbol of is, for want of another word, energy or God. And when we begin to interact, pardon me, with the underlying dynamic, we're more capable.
Mm-hmm.
We're starting to move into, the difference between reality and actuality. You look at that lesson in the course.
Mm-hmm.
We live by symbols. We make up a symbol for everything we see. And that means that my take is we're skipping across the top of what are the meanings that everybody's given all the symbols that we have in our
Mm-hmm.
culture.
Mm-hmm.
But when we recognize that it's a symbol for energy, it's a symbol for something that lies underneath it, and we can interact directly with that which lies underneath it, we become more capable.
Well, if you say that the word energy is what energetic means, I realize it's the same root, but energetic is an adjective, and usually something follows it, and I get lost. When you talk about energy / God, that's great. I'm following that all right. Anyway, I don't mean to take us down my particular little rabbit hole
No,
with,
that's what
but
we're here for. Well, that's
okay,
exactly where we want to go. We're looking to open understanding. And if you've got a
yeah.
question, there are a million other people with a question. And we want to clear up and arrive at the best understanding and the highest levels of empowerment that we can in interacting with the actuality of the world.
You know, I've been doing these journals and I've come across a description of what Tim Bingham went through some years ago. He was told, of course, he was given, when medications came out, he was given antidepressants and anti-anxiety pills, and they had side effects, and in some ways they helped, and in some ways they compromised him terribly. He never found the perfect combination, although now he's still on a combination and he seems to be doing pretty well. But then he went to a nutritionist, and the nutritionist talked to him about how medications mask symptoms and that you have to pay attention to the symptoms. And what you need is a proper diet, exercise, meditation, positive thinking. And he did those things and was better, remarkably better for a period of a few months. And then, even though he was continuing with that regimen, he started slipping. And he slipped way, way down and had to go back out of desperation. He went back to his regular psychiatrist, got more pills, ended up being on pills. Now you're talking about a set of tools. I picture this like a three-legged tripod here or a little stool. The tools, Tim may need some medication. He may, and he certainly needs the good diet and the exercise, which he does. I imagine the tools for somebody who's really challenged with whatever it is that doesn't allow for full recovery and health. I mean, Tim Hayes talks about how much better he is, but he never was not well, I think. He talks about how he's made short work of upset and can't describe the difference in the quality of his life because of that. That is fabulous. But somehow I've gotten the experience, but I was never as badly off with depression as Tim Bingham was. I used the tools and I do the other stuff too, take care of my body, and haven't needed medication. But it seems to me the tools would lead you to a healthy lifestyle. And the tools are really, for me, an answer to getting good mental health, even though I'm still, wake up in the wee hours. I was telling Tim Hazen, I still wake up not quite okay and have to go through a processing thing, which I do every morning. Just I wake up at 3:30 or 4, and usually am not in all that great shape. I've had some weird dreams. But the tools have made all the difference. I'd love to have the title be somehow explaining that this is the healthiest, no bad side effects method of getting as well as you can possibly be on the planet, without saying this is the absolute cure that you need and it guarantees everybody everything all at once forever. That's a long thing that I just said. So anyway, I'm not sure where that was going. But thanks for listening.
Well, the first offering I would put
Yeah.
is I'd put a huge question mark
Mm-hmm.
in front of the statement that Tim went, and I'm not sure exactly how you said it, but for several months he was doing okay, and then he went downhill. I think that was the word used, but whatever the word was, I would put a big question mark before that, and I bet he didn't go downhill. I bet $1 million he didn't go downhill. I bet $1 million that correcting his nutrition, doing the things that he was engaging in the energies that supported his wholeness and well-being, he hit a whole new level of vitality and was able to dredge up a whole new layer of what needed to be worked through.
Well,
so my offering would be, if he was doing, all the right things. That's one of the things that tells you when you're at and you hit a new level of vitality, that you're in a healing process. Have you been doing the right things? And it sounds like he was. And what I know is when people are doing the right things, they become more and more energetically vital.
Yeah.
And when they become vital enough, then they can dig up the next layer. And unfortunately, the lack of understanding of that single principle causes many healing processes for people to fail, because they don't understand that a new level of vitality means they are definitely, absolutely, totally, and completely going to dredge up the next level of what has not yet been processed through.
That is such a, that's makes so much sense. And we've talked about it so many times, and yet it never occurred to me till now that you're telling me that probably was a healing crisis and we didn't take advantage of it. We chickened out, headed right for the cave again. Yeah. Okay.
Well, that's what we've been trained in our culture, and he now has the experience. I mean, if you share that with him, and if it makes sense to him, then he can start to claw his way back to that space where he's doing all the right things and becoming more and more vital and using the tools, all of the tools. I know he's found tools other than these ones that have been effective for him, but that's the time to dig in and use them. That's not the time to run for something that will anesthetize us against what's surfacing.
Yeah. Well, Michael, I'm going to veer into the chat because I see you've got a lot of input there, and I'm going to mute myself. Thanks for that.
Okay, cool. Well, let's take a look at the chat. Thank you. Sean, glad you're here. Let's see. Sally, I'd love to see those written so I could compute words. Love the words Aramaic and quantum, preaching quantum physics and meta-spirituality based on early Aramaic teachings. Too many words. That is what we're shooting for. And I've copied that. Yeah, and that thought in the beginning was the mind energy, metaphysical stillness, photon exchange group. Photon exchange group. Aramaic. I like the idea of life skills, Sean. That's a good one. I probably will stay away from the metaphysical because there's so many circles where that word is like, There's a certain element in our society that puts their fingers up in the shape of a cross, like Satan's coming if the word metaphysical is used, where, most people don't realize that, the truth is there's no such thing as a metaphysical world, my take. There's only physics, and there are levels of energy that we don't have senses for, and we say that is beyond our senses, or meta, beyond physical. They are not of the sensory data that we have, but that's a pretty loaded word. But I love that idea of life skills. So we're going to put that into the field. Higher consciousness goals. Cool. Some good thoughts there. Thank you. Let me jump in and share a few more of the titles that came up between my thoughts and the interactions with AI. The Unified Field of Wisdom Community, Wisdom Nexus, Ancient Paths, Quantum Realities, one of some of the things AI is advising is that it needs to be memorable, that people can remember it, it's clarity, and hits to that target audience. The Awakened Life Collective, with a subtitle of Discover Self-Healing Tools and Profound Spiritual Wisdom for a Conflict-Free, Love-Based Existence. Find truth beyond dogma, heal recurring patterns, and empower your journey to serenity. That's including a subtitle, not just a title. Conscious Living and Healing Hub is another one that came up between my interaction with AI and myself. And the subtitle there was that the AI offered, based on the information I put in, was Transform Your Life, a Path to Love, Serenity, and Freedom from Conflict. Access practical tools for mind, body, spirit wellness and personal growth. The Transformative Journey. Breakthrough to Serenity Community. And I just love any random thoughts you have. Gee, that sounds good. I like that word in it. And the key words are what they call SEO, search engine optimized, so that it's something that often gets searched for. So practical tools for spiritual awakening, self-healing, and a life free from conflict. Excuse me. Let's see if we've got any coming in the chat. And Sally, I'll probably, maybe get Jeanie to put a page on our website. And I think if I make it up at this moment, it'll work. It'd be whyagain.org/community name. I'm sure we don't have a page by that name. So it would be /community with no space name. And we'll take this and we'll put it on there so that that anybody can look at it and give us feedback. So that's a great idea to put it in writing. I know that my brain often, I have to see things in writing to really make it work. Face-to-face love. Yes. Some of the other things that came out of my queries with AI, the Healing Journey Community, subtitled Discover Self-Healing Tools for Lasting Well-Being. The Supportive Sanctuary. The Truth Seekers Sanctuary. Practical tools and support for spiritual growth, healing. Redefining your faith. A safe space for questioning souls. And all on the path to love. one of the things that that I want to try to put into the title as a search term, because we have so many people who, and I'm talking over the last 50 years, who have just given up on religion, that what the ancient teachings that have been turned into religion in so many cases just become a source of pain, of fear, of condemnation, of guilt for people. So that's a major part of our audience, people who've just given up, and usually and oftentimes on themselves, because they've been so beaten down by the guilt-based, old-time religion. A while back I was working an article and I had the thought of this song, "Give me that old-time religion. It was good enough for me." And you look at something like that movie we watched as a community recently, the I Can Only Imagine, and how this father was just so abusive to his son. And sadly, that's a major, major issue all across this culture. I mean, there's some brutal, brutal stuff that's gone on. Of course, everybody's aware of that. And so opening a space for hope for people, to me, is an important part of the vision for community. So I'm going to just put a sanctuary and hope. The serene soul community is another possibility. Self-healing wisdom for a peaceful mind, body, and spirit. Find inner calm and lasting well-being with a supportive, like-minded collective. Tools for truth. Ancient wisdom, modern healing. And I would probably put the word Aramaic in front of that. Aramaic tools for truth, ancient wisdom, modern healing. And the subtitle that AI came up with for that one is Access Practical Self-Healing Tools and a Vast Library of Insights from Ancient Aramaic Wisdom, Psychology, and Science. Reclaim your power, heal past conditioning, and find deeper meaning. Another one that came out of that query was Beyond Belief, Tools for a Love-Based Life.
Hang on to that one, Michael.
Beyond Belief, yeah. We could put the word Aramaic in again. Beyond Belief, Aramaic Tools for a Love-Based Life.
I
Aramaic
love
Tools for Achieving.
If we spend enough time on this, we'll all come up with our biggest challenges and we'll work them into the title.
There you go. Yep. And that's exactly what we need, because what the biggest challenges are, but the bottom line truth is we're all the same.
Yeah.
Somebody goes, "Oh, I have this problem. Mine's special." It's like, no, we're all in the same boat. We're all doing the same thing. Beyond belief.
I love that, beyond belief, because it's a double meaning.
Yes. Yeah. And the subtitle that AI came up with for that one was Find Deep Meaning, Heal Trauma, and Live a Conflict-Free, Awakened Existence.
Mm.
Ideal for those who've denied religion or are redefining their spiritual path. Oh, there's a good one right there. Redefining your spiritual path. And let me switch screens so I can go back and see if there's anything else in the comments. That healed connectivity. Quantum from Sean. Quantum, where you and God exist in perfect harmony. Bingo. I think Catholic Church has got kind of a window on that, haven't they? Bingo. Yeah. Get
I
bingo
better
off the
mute
streets
again.
and back into the church where it belongs, right?
Right.
Just playing with it, Sally. So redefining your spiritual path, your spirit path. Fun and inviting. Hmm. Any other voices with a thought? Hit your mute button. Some interaction, perhaps.
Tongue in cheek, but something like, there's still hope. Or you can get there even if you thought you couldn't. Don't bother with those. I'm just.
It can be done.
Yeah.
Sean,
Never too late.
Hey guys.
Hey, welcome, sir.
Hey,
How you
I
been?
made it. Yeah, we're
All
doing
right,
all
good.
right. So we left about 7:30-ish this morning, and I said, well, babe, we got to be back in time for the show. And she starts laughing. She says, what do you mean we're leaving in 10 minutes? Well, her hair 10 minutes later, and change a different dress 10 minutes later on that. We eventually get out, and I just needed a few minutes to calm down after dragging in all the groceries in this 93-degree heat. And we made it. We made it on time for the second part of the show anyway.
Awesome. Glad you're here.
Yeah, it's fun. So it's just hanging out, watching you guys, deal with the names and everything like that. So I'm a little bit late to the show, but yeah, when redefining your spiritual path, we should make sure that I kind of like that, and I think Sally and I liked it at the same time, and I kind of typed it out, saying that it's fun and inviting, but make sure that no one else has already claimed it. I guess that it doesn't take you to somewhere else.
Right. Yeah, that would
but
be the final step of a search if there's anybody else using that
yeah,
idea.
for sure. I'm sure it's been written in many books, and the shallow stuff that's out there, but who knows? It could work in the favor too, because if they're searching for things like that, and why again comes up, at the same rate, that could be a good thing. But so have you guys noticed a bump in the shorts? It looks like Jeanie put out several shorts. I've been sending different ones through email and WhatsApp and different places.
And Jeanie would have to answer that question. She's the one who tracks that. Jeanie, you have
She's the guru.
Yeah. Oh, she's the computer nerd, not me.
Yeah.
And she's got the baby in there right now. I don't know what he's doing. So she may not be able to
No, that's
hit
fine.
her mute button right now.
No, that's fine. Yeah. Yeah, I was sharing the other day, you never know what one will go viral. And just have the right words that YouTube likes,
Right.
that ends up getting shared, things like that. You know, and prayerfully we don't have any kind of massive chaos that goes on, that people would be looking for support, in that way, but that they would seek, and I think that could be happening in some ways, and then more to come, that the body's light receptor, the pineal we talked about, I think in the last time I was on,
Right.
As that's adjusted, whether through your still point techniques or just I don't know, naturally on its own. Um, we could call it God, electromagnetic, electroluminescent, whatever. As that hits the brains of people, they're going to be looking for answers. They're going to be seeking. And I, I wish for the day when, you know how those Freakonomics reports come out about things people search for, dumb stuff, whatever it is.
Right.
Uh, Hopefully we get a report soon where, we're noticing a trend. People are seeking, you know, more spirit-filled things. Love is the number one search, of 2000 whatever 26 or something. Um, I'm rooting for that, because we're tired of the politics, we're tired of the games, we're tired of promises that are empty, and we don't want empty promises upon the people, upon the world. But as one man put it, the answer is not in a group. The answer is not in the latest wind of doctrine, right? It's the individual, and then as the individual becomes right, as they are converted back to love, as they see themselves as made of the same thing God is made of, then you'll notice a community begin to happen. And so, and that may tie in with naming this thing. Maybe the angle of light hasn't hit us yet, for um, what the right word is for it. Just like why again, and your book title, that was reserved, I think, for this specific purpose, for this exact reason. That was reserved.
Yeah,
So
it's
you
such an
never know.
obvious title. I was shocked it was available when I went searching when I wrote my book. And I
Right.
was shocked it was out there.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. A friend and I, we were talking the other day, changed the topic, I guess, on you a little bit, but yet it sort of fits. So something I call the Sean theory, as much as that's worth. We were on the topic of what the government's doing, not doing for people and such, and big pharma. We were dealing with holistic and live foods and things like that. And then it struck across me like like a tone would just come out of dead air, um, and it moved upon me, and I had this thought on something. So you know how some of the conspiracy theory circles will deal with um, metals in the ionosphere, as ironic as that sounds, to
Right.
say.
Weather modification and
Chemtrails.
such.
Exactly. Now, whatever all that is, it is. They're doing it. It's a real thing. I was in the United States Air Force. I had a great time. A lot of other people, they can't have. That's not appointed to them to have that testimony. But I had a great time. And I've seen different things. So, um, dispersing metals in the air is a real thing. They call it um, deflecting or reflecting the sun's harmful rays. So they want, it's not that they're blacking out the sun or anything like that, but let's think about it for a moment. And this is brand new. Never seen this, never heard this anywhere.
Right.
If light, if human beings through the light receptor, the single eye, whatever you want to call it, in the body and the mind, that's how we receive what we call spiritual things, right? Get brand new ideas, whatever. It's our antenna. If light angles hit us and love is coming, the age of Aquarius, whatever you want to call it, and these people, they know this, and if they have an effort in the sky to prevent that from hitting the world, the people in the world, that's truly an evil thing. I just thought it was neat, because we were talking about the chemtrail stuff, And it's not so much about blocking the harmful UV rays in the sun. What if they're actually deflecting, making an attempt to deflect love from entering the earth? I don't know if you've ever thought of that,
That's no, I have never thought that's a new thought for me. I've been aware
Yeah.
of chemtrails and
Yeah.
actually supported, done some work on capturing some of the chemicals from
Right.
chemtrails and analyzing them.
Right.
But it never occurred to me that someone might be attempting to deflect the light.
Yeah. Yeah. And of course, I don't want to get into specifics or anything. I don't go too close to the. I seen them spraying chemtrails the other day, and that's why we had a hurricane or something a week later. I can't get into that far, that specifically, um, but it is interesting to think about, and you have to wonder. But at any rate, I just figured I'd throw it out there as a little bit of a topic, sort of a change. But yeah, uh, I was just wrapping up.
Interesting thought.
Yeah, I was just wrapping
Interesting
up
thought.
one of the conversions here. So,
Oh, cool.
yeah,
Awesome.
I'll have the rest of the Recovery Wednesdays done. I don't know. Hopefully this month, but you never know. You can plan, but you never know.
Well, it's awesome that you're working on them. We appreciate it a whole lot.
Yeah, for
Very
sure.
deeply. It's cool that our YouTube channel is building, and
Yeah.
I think that this community is going to be a way. As we develop this community site, it's going to be a way to funnel into, and vice versa. That the YouTube videos will funnel back to the community. So,
And for the live show, I just thought of something. There is a phone number listed for people to call in. Not everyone might want to be on like a video. I can't be on video right now, but um, I invited the wife to come on the show. She said she'll listen, but she doesn't want to be on video. Okay, I get that. Uh, but yeah, share the. I think you do from time to time, but yeah, share the phone number for people to call in. It might be an easier mental load, rather than worrying about downloading Zoom or anything like that. But if they call in, they can get right on. So share that, and hopefully we get more conversation going. If others have questions, I tend to find that even if it's not something you're thinking about right then and there, it's a question you've had or will have, when you hear someone say it.
right.
On the different topics and different
And
things.
and there is actually, and I don't know, maybe I haven't sent it to you. There's a package of information we send now on the radio show, and in it, there's a phone number sequence that people can save for the first hour of Dr. Tim's show. And
Yeah.
then there's a phone number sequence. It has the code and all in it. And all people have to do is push the button, automatic dial in, just dials right into the show. So I'll make sure to send you that. And the Zoom link is there as well. So people who want to, and of course, people who come on Zoom don't have to turn their cameras on,
Right.
so they can do that as well. But yeah, that's
Right.
I'll send that to you.
Reason why I say that's how I get in. I go to the Why Again website, and then it's all there. If you click on the right icon. But most folk, I think, are going to find you on YouTube right now, maybe. And when you go to the website, it really doesn't. All the videos are there, and you can go in and you can listen to them, but it really doesn't say, "Hey, this is a live show right now," whatever the case. Um, and you can do YouTube Live, and I think that will push extra hard, if you will. It'll make an announcement to everyone, but I'm not sure if you guys are set to do YouTube Live. If that's something that you want to do.
That's probably something we need to investigate and make part of the show if we can do this live on YouTube as well, or even on Facebook. The technology is just a step ahead of us.
Right. I understand.
The learning process. I actually bought the database program, the AI database, 2 years ago, and really haven't put anything in it because it's just been a dance with all that's on our plate. And then,
Right.
the learning curve of starting to train AI on all of this data, all this information, this, 20,000 page website,
Right.
4,000, 5,000 videos, all the writing, all the materials. It's a giant task, but you do it like you eat an elephant one bite at a time. Yes.
All right. Yeah.
So certainly
It's a
appreciate your
process.
volunteering and
For
assisting
sure.
getting it done.
Yep.
Much appreciated.
And you never know. I mean, you can't judge it good or bad either way, because we all may be gone before it really takes off. You just don't know. It could happen, in the next 5 months. Um, I would just like to see a big inflow of traffic, because you already have a live show people can call in, and that's great. Um, and I think sometimes too, people look for shows that have live people also. So I don't know if that's an option, if you ever move back to the main headquarters, if you will, to do something like that. Uh, People naturally like seeing people, um, the same as if you had a newborn baby that never felt a touch from another human being, that thing is going to be unhealthy. It may not have the will
Yeah.
to live because it's missing something that's vital, that's natural, that needs to be there. And so, yeah, yeah, neat stuff.
Yeah.
Remain
All right.
remain positive and upbeat for sure.
Hey, rock and roll, every mind, heart, and being on the planet. So appreciate
Absolutely,
the work you're doing with us, Sean.
for sure. All right, I'll mute out
All
and
right.
let you guys
All
wrap
right.
it up.
Have a blessed one. Okay.
Thank you.
Say hello to Terry. Welcome. And Cami. Hope you all are doing well. Anything on your minds? Anything to share with us? Questions, thoughts, answers, ideas? We've been kind of doing a conversation around the community. We've just purchased a site where we're going to be able to land all of our courses and all of our work in a community that will be there for eternity, permanent. So we're working on the first part of the show. I was asking folks about some feedback and thoughts on name for the community, what we might want to call it. So that's something that will probably unfold in the next couple of weeks. But if either of you have a thought to share, either here on the show or text it to me, what would you think would be a community name based in this work that would be easy, for people to find on the internet, and or just kind of brainstorming on what possibilities might not be. So the word Aramaic will likely be in it. The word forgiveness will be in it. Looking at putting the word quantum, seeing as how we're moving into this quantum still point process, breathing, forgiveness. So a number of things we're going to tie in. I'm not sure exactly what the final product will be, but if you have any ideas, we would love to have them. Other than that, anyone have a thought in mind? Push your mute button, say hello. Terry, we haven't seen you on the show in a long time. Glad you're here. Are you in a place where you can say a quick hello? And the mute button's not coming blank, so I guess not. Oh, there he is. Hey, good sir.
Hello.
Welcome.
Yeah, I was
How are
just
you? What's exciting in your world?
adjusting to the Zoom format. I'm very excited about you having the Zoom set up. That's really nice, and I can see how that's gonna really help push things along. So I
Yeah,
haven't
one of the
learned
sweet aspects
quite.
of it is that we're gonna be able, anybody in the world now that has an internet connection will be able to access the show live. So that's a really nice addition to the whole thing.
Yeah, I did a few Zoom classes last year, and somehow I got them scheduled on my Zoom calendar. So all I do is just hit it on the Zoom calendar, and it would open up. So I'm sure there's a way I can do that with your show. But I've about got it figured out with all the different attempts here, and you send me enough links. But I like the way it presented itself on the Zoom calendar or whenever I open Zoom automatically. So I'm gonna see if I can figure out how I made that happen on the other items that I have on my Zoom.
Oh, cool. When you do figure that out, if you'd let us know, we'll pass it along too, because that would probably be that's something I hadn't thought of, but or didn't know was possible, but would be a nice little addition at the reminders there.
Yeah, I've had real success with the renewed round of worksheet work that I kicked off last week, and it's just been very powerful at a whole new level. So I'm excited about it. I'm very excited.
Awesome. Well, I'm excited too.
It's just with the subtle structure shift on that 2023 sheet where you broke up the a couple of lines in the first three sections. It's a little bit different, and it really just opens up for me quicker and deeper.
Good. Well, that was the objective when I did that. It had been a while since I'd made any real changes to the worksheet, so I'm glad to have the feedback that that you're finding it working for you. That's awesome.
Yep, outstanding.
Well, I see with your picture here that that you're outstanding too in your field. I've heard that you were as a contractor. That's pretty cool. That there you are.
Outstanding.
Cool. Well, I'm delighted that the new worksheet is, or the newer worksheet is clicking. And, you know, one of the things that I've had people tell me over the years is that they'll use a variety of worksheets. That's why we still have a variety of them on the website, and that they'll use one for a while and sometimes they'll find themselves plateauing. So they'll shift to one of the different worksheets. And there's just enough of a difference in the questions and the energy of it that they, you know, shake themselves loose of that plateau and bang, start moving to another level. So glad that's happening for you. That's what it takes. Layer by layer, level by level.
I'll make a little notation on the exact spaces and send it to you, showing you what where it was that it really clicked at a different level. Yeah.
That would be very helpful because we're always looking for, you know, each little tweak. You know, I have no idea what the accurate number would be, but that latest worksheet that we published is probably at least version, you know, 4,223 or something. Yeah, I don't know just what, but I mean, there were times, well, you were around when I was doing it a lot. There were times when I would make significant changes in the worksheets 2 or 3 times in a day as that Aramaic understanding was opening up. And it's certainly been an interesting journey, exciting one. So glad you're here, my friend.
Thank you.
All right. Everybody, thanks for joining us. It's 2:00 already. Appreciate you holding the space for everyone to have the best year yet of your eternal life. Thanks for being with us. Blessings. Bye-bye.